All right, welcome back. Sorry about that, fellas. We might have to consider buying Zoom Premium. I'm not sure how last year we did not have that problem, but I'd love to figure it out, and I don't want to pay for premium. But now we're gonna get into the rookie draft. So, uh, we're gonna talk about any reaches, any kind of unique picks that we didn't see coming. Obviously, it was a pretty quick draft. We planned on having it Friday. We changed it to Wednesday, and then it was done by Wednesday evening. So, Joe, I'll run you through the first round, and then I'll let you kind of give your thoughts. So, Doug led us off with Brees Hall, one overall. Bennett with Jamison Williams at two, kind of an interesting pick, but I think an exciting one. And then Vinny with Drake London at three, Musk with Kenneth Walker at four, Jeff took Traylon Burks at five, John took Garrett Wilson at six, Cybulski, Chris Olave at seven, myself at eight with Sky Moore, and then Bennett with Christian Watson at nine, and Vinny closed out the first round with George Pickens at 10. So, any thoughts on the first round reaches or good values?
Yeah, I mean, reaches, Bennett, Jamison Williams. I don't know. Maybe he was worried like Vince would have taken him. I don't know. He might have, but maybe he fished around for offers. Maybe Musk would have traded up, thinking if he couldn't get Kenneth Walker at four, then he would at two. I don't know, but like it's clearly a reach based on just ADP. But I still like the pick. Like he's a Detroit guy, first round pick, sexy. He's gonna hold value.
Yeah, exciting player.
Yeah, so I'm good with that. I mean,
you felt some type of way about Drake London at three.
Yeah, just like London over Walker, given like V's team. Like Walker could win you the league. Drake London ain't gonna win you the league, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like his injury's too serious, but like just going London over Walker, I think is strategy wise. Like we don't go to PPR until 2024. Like Vinny's a win now team now.
Yeah.
So like Drake London over Walker, I disagreed with.
So hold on.
Was ecstatic.
Hold on a second. So you teased a little bit in the chat that when Walker fell to three and Vinny was on the clock, and Vinny picked Drake London pretty quick there, but you mentioned that you reached out. So tell me, what did that conversation sound like?
So V says number three on the block.
Yeah,
it's like 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, all right, fuck it. I like Kenneth Walker's sitting there at three. I want him.
Yeah.
So I shoot him a text like Eckler for number three and any 2025 first.
You wait, whoa. You offered Eckler?
Yeah, Eckler, like on the table.
Holy shit.
So Vinny denied Eckler for Drake London in a 2025 first.
Wow. Okay. And let me just say, so Eckler was already extended at that point, right? So he's a Z. He's it's a rental.
Yes.
So
yes,
I mean,
yes,
let's take that, make sure that's taken into consideration. But still, Vinny. I mean, and to be fair, at this point, maybe Vinny didn't know for sure that he had the McCaffrey deal done, right? Who knows?
Right.
Because that came a little bit later, but probably not much later, like an hour later.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I wonder if Vince knows that he has CMC. Does he make that deal, right? Because then now he's got CMC and Eckler and Dalvin Cook. Holy fuck.
And if Vinny drafted Walker, I'd probably still do the fucking deal.
Oh my God. That's wild, bro. Holy shit.
Yeah. So, but then I'm going to put V on blast just real quick. He hit me with a thanks for the offer. I'm just going to make the pick. Didn't expect to get an offer at 8:30 a.m. Like, I'm never fucking sleeping, baby. You put him on a block. I'm thinking about it.
I mean, that's a big offer. Holy shit. I mean, I had no idea, honestly, that you offered that much. Interesting. And he would have had to give a 2025 first with it.
Yeah, it's like any. He's got a bunch.
Did he end up giving that pick? Let's see really quick. Did he end up giving it for?
Maybe. He's still got two.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
So he could have done it for sure.
He's got two. Yeah. He could have done it. He could still,
Okay, that's interesting. I'd love if Vinny watches this, Vin, text the chat. I'd love to know where your head's at there. Just knowing the moves you've made now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Even now, after the fact, right, it's different.
I mean, Vinny staring down the start of the season with Cook, McCaffrey, and Eckler. I mean, that might give Lee a legitimate run for his money. Wow.
Easily.
Wow. Okay. That's big. That's a bomb you dropped. I didn't know that was
Yeah,
coming. You offered
yeah,
fucking Eckler. Holy shit. You do like Walker, huh?
I do.
Okay. So obviously you feel like Musk got a good deal at 4. I know
Yeah,
Chu really liked Walker and Brees Hall. So I think to get one of their guys there, that was why when they were on
yeah,
the clock and everyone's like, make the pick. It's like we all knew that
yeah.
if Tusk picked Walker, Chu would be happy because that was a great pick there at 4.
It was.
All right, talk what
Everyone
about
else.
yeah, I mean
Oh,
the
go ahead.
rest no, I was gonna say the rest felt chalky.
Yeah, chalky wide receivers, very hard to like. I think they're just so hit or miss. Like just playing roulette. Hopefully you pick the guy that hits. It's kind of how I feel. Like
Did you
George Pickens might be a little early. Like I don't know, was he? I mean, I get he was good and he fell in the draft, but like I don't know over Dotson. I feel like Dotson went way ahead of him in the draft. I thought I'm not like very up to speed on these rookies, but
No, I think you're right. Dotson was a second round pick. Did you think that James Cook will go in the first?
oh, I mean, yes, I would. I would not have traded. I traded the number 12 pick for just any future second because like I just didn't want to have the cap live. I wanted flexibility and like I didn't love anybody. I thought there's no chance in hell James Cook got past you, Bennett, and Vince.
Yeah,
There's,
I mean,
I
I
didn't think there was even a remote chance.
yeah, I mean, I almost texted this in the chat, but I didn't. But you can't hold that against yourself either because if you still own the 12, there's probably a decent chance that Musk takes Cook at the
Right.
11. You know what I mean? Like
That plays into it too.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, like having back to back picks, he could go Dotson and Cook, but
Yeah.
there's a
So if he went Cook and I'm sitting at Dotson, Spiller, Pierce, like I'm
right.
happy to trade that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
But
let's run through round 2 really quick. I'll give you the picks, and then you give me any reaction. So Musk at 11 and 12 goes Dotson, and then James Cook. We have Cybulski at 13 takes Isaiah Spiller. Saucon at 14 takes Damian Pierce. Jeff with Jalen Tolbert at 15. I thought that one was interesting. Saucon at 16, Rashad White. Or I'm sorry, that wasn't Saucon. My bad. That was Musk again. Musk at 16 takes Rashad White. And then again at 17, Isaiah Pacheco. I took Tyler Algier at 18 and Saucon Romeo Dubs at 19. I believe that was a trade. And then Lee takes Trey McBride at 20. Anything that stands out? I mean, second round rookies are such dart
if
throws, but you
yeah,
look
if
historically, I
any of
mean,
these guys are rostered 2 years from now, it's a win.
okay, that's interesting because you say that, but if you look at the last handful of years, Joe, every year there's second round rookies that are substantial. Last year we had Elijah Moore and Amon-Ra St. Brown. The year
Oh, we're
before
counting
that,
Elijah Moore as like a good hit.
you don't think so?
I mean, I don't know. Was a bench guy a good hit? Fine.
I mean, Elijah Moore is being drafted in redraft leagues in like the 8th and 9th round. That's a startable wide receiver 3/flex.
I mean, we'll
Okay.
see.
Okay. So last
Okay,
year,
Elijah Moore is also the 12th pick.
okay,
Like
how about Amon-Ra St. Brown though?
that's a good pick.
And he went at pick 16 last year. Okay. The year
Yep.
before that, in the second round, we had Antonio Gibson at
Okay,
11.
but here's my thing. Here's
Yeah.
been my thing the whole time.
Okay.
You're comparing a 2020 draft to a
Okay.
2022 draft, and they are
Sure.
not equal drafts.
Sure. That's
The
fair.
second round in 2022 is loaded because the 2020 draft, excuse me, the
2020.
2020 second draft where
Right.
Gibson,
Right.
Higgins,
Right.
like T. Higgins, I picked him.
Michael Pittman at 17,
Right,
Joe.
right.
That's
That's
a
what I'm talking
fucking
about.
stud.
But
AJ Dillon
look
at
at
18.
the first round.
I know.
CeeDee Lamb going 7, and
I
it's
know.
not that crazy.
I know.
Look at the guys ahead of him. Taylor, I mean, CH, bad. Dobbin, Swift, Judy,
I know.
Rager,
I know.
busted. Jeff, but like, those
I
are
know.
good. That's why. So, like,
No, I know. I know.
I get it. The second round picks have value.
I
In
know.
very good drafts, they have a ton of value.
Right.
I think.
Okay. Okay. But I gave you examples from the last 2 drafts. The draft before that, AJ Brown and Debo Samuel both went in the second round. Like every year, Joe,
And this
every
league sucks.
year, Joe, every year there's a stud in the second round. That's all I'm trying to say. And the year before that, guess who went in the
This,
second round? Calvin
this
Ridley,
year, if I had to pick one,
Cortland Sutton, Michael Gallup. Joe, there's good players in the second round every year. Who got them this year? Who is it?
it's got it. I mean, I'll be honest. I did zero rookie research, so
All right.
my opinion zero.
Can I
James
give
Cook, I've heard of him before.
can I give some thoughts then? Because
Yes,
I've done too
yes.
much research. Okay. So obviously I like the James. I like the James Cook pick too, just because of the upside, right? They attempted to sign JD McKissick right out of free agency. So they wanted a pass catching back. He decided to stay and they ended up going after James Cook. So I think that's an indication that that was a need that they identified as a franchise and they filled it with Cook. So I think
I like that pick.
he'll have a role regardless of what they do with Singletary or Moss. So I really like that pick. Someone has to replace Austin Eckler at some point. So I love Isaiah Spiller in the second round. I just think it's obviously a lottery ticket. They've taken running backs every single year in the draft, and every single year we
Right.
pick the guys because we're like, who's it going to be? Right?
Right.
Joshua Kelly, Larry Roundtree. Give me the next guy that's going to replace Melvin Gordon's role there. When Austin Eckler finally, fades, and it hasn't happened yet. But I think Isaiah Spiller has a really nice profile. And I think the only reason he fell is because he ran a slow 40 time at the combine. He ran like a 4.6. But other than that, his tape looks really good, according to all of the experts.
Take him off the board.
Yeah, I like Spiller. Dameon Pierce, legitimately right now out of camp, the news is that he is the guy. Like, no joke. Like, he is standing out. He looks like a stud. I know Marlon Mack is there or whatever. Marlon Mack's only 26, which is funny too. Marlon Mack feels he's 32
That's
to me.
crazy. That he's only 26.
But Dameon Pierce, Saucon teased it when he took the pick. There's a lot of running back stabs in the second round. Yeah. Dameon Pierce legitimately could have a starter's workload from week one, which is rare in the second round
the
for a running back. Yeah. And then outside of that, we talked about Isaiah Pacheco, right? He's like an undrafted guy that's shown out in camp. That could be a good one. Romeo Doubs, for Green Bay. Christian Watson's hurt. Aaron Rodgers is gonna throw 30 plus touchdowns. So who are they gonna go to, right? Aaron Jones gonna catch 12, but who's gonna catch the rest?
What if Rodgers retires after this year too?
Dude, I think it's totally possible, bro.
I think he's going to, and everyone's like, Christian Watson. Bennett told me Christian Watson. I'm bad. Like, I don't know any of these fuckers.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Well,
I just don't.
Christian Watson went to South Dakota State, right? Where they literally threw the ball 11 times a game, but the dude still had like 800 yards and 10 touchdowns. He's a physical freak. But to your point, first of all, Rodgers doesn't like young receivers. He likes guys he has rapport with. The guy's already hurt in camp, and Rodgers isn't going to be there in 3 years. Yeah. I thought really long and hard. I knew at the 8 pick what I'd be looking at. I knew it was going to be Sky Moore or Christian Watson. I was praying to the gods that Chris Olave would fall. And then when it got to 7, and I was like, please, Joe, take James Cook. That's what kept me away from Watson, is the fact that there's so much uncertainty with the future because of Rodgers. And Rodgers Rodgers isn't just getting old. He's going off the rails, bro. He just went on a podcast last week and talked about the psychedelic drugs he did when he was in fucking Hawaii or wherever he was. Yeah. The guy is losing his mind.
He's ready to pack it up. Yeah, he is.
He is.
I think there's risk to Packers picks because of that, but
I will push back on you a little bit because I know you don't think very highly about this draft. And the more research that I've done in the offseason this year, there's some exciting prospects, especially at the wide receiver position. So I think there could be some really good players that come out of this. The second round, it's a bunch of stabs, but
a lot of you know how I've traded wide receivers. Like, moving to PPR changes things. Like, I would not have been so down on this class knowing we switched to PPR. But from my perspective, the last 2 years I've been planning standard. And for me, after Walker and Hall, it's garbage.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I get it. So Jameson Williams, some of these top end wide receivers, they could be very good assets.
Yeah, it's a big shift in our league, and I'm excited for it in 2024. But it does change the dynamic. I talked about it. I sent a text out, but the statistics I shared were legitimate. If you look at standard scoring, out of the top 36 players every single year, running backs have, I think it's 20 to 25 of the top 36 in standard scoring, which isn't surprising. But if you flip to 0.5 PPR, the edge goes to running backs or goes to wide receivers. So more than half. So you go, I think it's 19 or 20 of the top 36. And obviously if you go to full point, it's even more skewed. But our league will go from a league where everybody feels like they have to start a wide receiver in the flex or a running back in the flex to not even, we have to start a wide receiver. We got to start a quarterback. So that's the most unique thing about what we're doing is wide receivers aren't going to increase in value that much when we go to PVR because we're also going to super flex.
It's
We
just
are
going to really lower running back values,
it's
which
going
is the
to
intention.
100%, which is the intention because it's the most
The
unpredictable
shittiest
position.
position.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally. And
it
it's
is.
cool because to your point, and I know this is why you've advocated for this for years, it's the position that matters the least in the NFL. So it
Yeah,
should matter the least in fantasy. Instead of it being the absolute inverse, now it will be the same, right?
yeah,
We'll value quarterbacks the most. We'll value wide receivers the second. And then you fucking throw some, you know, young back in there that can get some carries and maybe break a run.
yep.
Um, okay. Yeah, I think it's a good breakdown of the rookie draft. We'll see what happens. And there's plays and stuff happening right now. The group chat's going off. Oh God, I hope that's not true. Did Zach Wilson really have a non-contact injury? Oh
Yeah,
God.
you did.
Oh Lord, I hope that's nothing serious. That would be sad. I'm excited to see what he was going to do with that offense. Okay. What do we got left? Just season predictions. And you can give anything you want here. You can talk about players, but what I wanted from you is in our league specifically, who's a team that's overrated?
I mean,
Who's
it's
who's the team that's
I.
underrated? And who do you think is going to win the championship in 2022?
I mean, I would prefer. I would prefer to do this after the auction, like with the team thing
Nope.
set.
Nope.
Well,
Right
like
now.
I
Right now.
think overrated. Man,
Like we think of this team as like gonna be a contender and maybe they won't.
I mean, our team's our league's pretty split. Honestly, I have no fucking clue. I mean, half the teams I think are. I mean, an underrated team.
All right.
I think
Instead of that, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, talk to us about the split. So who are the contenders and who are the non-contenders right now?
I'm.
And
I
they
mean,
can flip it
not
in the auction.
yeah, non-contenders. I think Bennett, Musk. Um, there's a bunch of like bubble teams. Like depends what Doug does in the auction. Could
Yeah.
get interesting.
Yeah. It's okay. You
Saucon.
can be honest. I know I'm a bubble team. It's okay.
Who you got? That's the thing. You got money, so like I
Right.
don't know.
Right.
I don't know who you're gonna buy,
Right. No,
but
it's
like
true.
I would say Saucon, you, Doug, playoff expectations, but like Jeff, playoff expectations,
Yeah.
but like all of you can't make it, and really it's gonna decide on a few players.
Yeah.
I think top end is Lee Vince, myself, and I think I touched on everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't see anything that's egregious in your assessment. I think Jeff's team is interesting. I mean, you're never out of it when you have Najee Harris, Javante Williams, Jamar Chase, and Terry McLaurin, right?
No, like I think Jeff's a playoff team for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
He's got money. He's gonna buy someone good. He's got
Yeah.
picks. If he wants to do it, he can.
Yeah. Yeah. So you look at just really quick, right? The top five teams with money. You have Doug with the most money, Cybolski, Musk, Jeff, and then me. So we are the five with the most. I'm a bit behind them. And if you look at so you figure the top five players in the auction, right? And not
Yeah,
it doesn't always go this way. It doesn't mean you're going to get one of them because somebody could get a deal, but
yeah. Lee could choose not to bid up on Henry or something like that.
right. Well, something crazy is going to happen because
We're
there's
never
two.
gonna let that go, Lee.
Yeah, it's 100%. Take it to your fucking grave. You would already had your name on that thing. But there's too many good players though, honestly. So if the five of us with the five most money pop our wads on the five biggest wide receiver prospects, right? Which I think are the five best players, right? The best running backs, James Conner. I think he's a tier below the wide receivers.
Absolutely.
Just my honest opinion. So if the five of us all spend on those wide receivers, then it guarantees substantial value falling. So it'll be interesting to see how
Yeah.
people go about it. Cooper Kupp is the number one prospect. So if Doug pays $100 for Cooper Kupp, right, which is the
Yeah.
precedent that's been set, now it takes him from the most money down to a 40 some dollar, 30 some dollar max
Yeah.
bid. He's not even in the player. He's not even in it for another stud. So that's what's interesting, right? Is like those guys with money, and I'll throw myself into that. They have to make a decision about like, am I going to spend 80, 90% of my money to get one of the top guys and
Yeah.
then accept that
Or get a couple.
right. And accept that, like, listen, if I do that, it's fine. But then I'm just like everybody else. I'm getting one good player and then
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a mid-range player, which in this auction, it's not extremely deep, right?
No.
Or do you shoot for two in that middle range? I think it's an interesting discussion because I don't know,
No. I think it's tough. Um,
it is tough.
I mean, that's a conundrum people are in. It'll be interesting. I mean, you can go a lot of different ways with it this year.
You can.
I'm happy not to have much money, honestly. Like, I mean, I love a stud, but like, I don't know, it's dicey.
Can we take 1 second to acknowledge the fact that John's already filled his team?
Yeah, I mean, absurd.
It's
It is
phenomenal.
so John
It's
too.
so John. It's so great.
It is great. I love it.
Has one spot left after keepers get and
Trades for a
keepers in the
guy.
rookie and trades for a guy.
Even kicker and defense. Like, that's the egregious thing about it.
It's so good. But at a dollar though, I mean, good
But
guys at a
you're
dollar.
right.
You just love to see it.
Disgusting.
All right. Well, this was fun. We got the auction in a couple days. It's gonna be here before we know it. So
Yeah.
we'll know a
I
lot.
mean,
We'll
literally
know a
in
lot
like,
more.
oh, it's gonna be quick.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be really quick. But I appreciate your insight as always. Looking forward to another fun year. Man, it's going to be a dogfight this year. You just wonder if
Is
these guys that are putting a lot of energy and thought into it right now, making these big moves, like there's so much luck involved, right? I mean, I don't win last year without incredible
yeah,
luck. We're going into that final game. You were up on me. You
I
were
know.
leading with Chubb versus Deontay Johnson. I thought it was in the grave. It takes
I thought last year I had won, and then
it
when I saw Chubb on the goal line, I thought I won again.
it takes so much. The
It
point of
takes a
that
lot
is
of
it
luck.
just takes so
Yeah,
much luck to win. So
but
it'll be
you gotta be in
yeah.
that position.
Right. Well, what I've said it before. I'll say it again. What makes you and I different than a lot of teams in the league is I added it up. How many trades do you think the two of us made last year?
Oh, have to be over 10.
You made 15. I made 14.
I believe it. I
You
mean,
have to pivot.
we traded for studs though. Like, I mean,
You got to
no one
pivot.
else wanted an Evans. I
You
went
got
for Evans.
you got to pivot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I mean,
went for
think
Hill. I went for Mahomes.
right. I mean, think about the injuries I had last year. I lost Chris
Yeah,
Godwin. I lost Derrick Henry. I mean, I lost
yeah.
studs after studs, but every single time I said, okay, I still want to win. I'm going to make a move. I'm going to mortgage the future. I'm going to make a move because I think I got the pieces to do it. You have to do that within the season if you want to win. And I think we've seen
Nope.
historically now the teams that even if they're awesome, if they don't make enough moves, it's really fucking hard to have the depth to
Yep.
win because everybody's going to deal with injuries. So we'll see what happens.
And
We have
guess what?
some really
Everyone
good
else is
teams.
going to be making moves too. So
Yep.
like,
Yep.
that's the thing. That's what's tough. It's like there is an arms race that happened, and it happened between me, you, Lee. I think last year. Like, there's an arms race that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And if you're saying, "Oh, I'm going to keep my 2025 pick,"
Yeah.
you lose the arms race.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Gun to your head. Who wins this year? You gonna take the easy way out?
Well, myself.
No, not yourself. The best fucking team in the league.
Um, fuck. I mean, honestly, I don't know if those guys have the nuts to do what it takes mid-year. They aren't reckless, which is why I think Jeff wins.
Oh, fuck.
I'll tell you why.
Tell me why.
He has the most picks in the league. He's going to tell himself he's not happy about the buy-in going up. He's going to go for it this year. He's going to win, fall back in love with fantasy.
Yeah. Yeah. We've seen it so many times, right? He's
So
like,
many times.
he's ready to quit. He's
So
ready to
many
trade.
times.
And then he
He's
just
going to be like, you know what? I'm
takes
going to fucking play. I'm
deals
going
one.
to sell everything.
Exactly. I love that. All right. I'll take the low hanging fruit. I think Lee gets it done this year. And the reason that I do is because I think that we have a different mindset from Lee now. And he's already showed that he is going to do anything this year. It's not even because he has the super team right now, which he does. I believe he has enough picks still to make moves too. And I think he'll do it. I really do.
So he'll have a first in 2025 and a first in 2026.
Yeah. I think he'll do it. I really do. I mean, right now, he could sustain 3 injuries to his starting lineup
Yeah,
and still have a team I don't want to play. He's the
yeah,
only
no,
one.
that's
He's the
true.
only one I can say that about right now. It's the low
That's
hanging
fair.
fruit. If you said it, I wouldn't have said it, but I do think it's going to be a tough year to beat Lee. I just hope that he doesn't get the
Yeah,
progressive pot.
yeah, that's true.
He
He's
fucking,
solid top down. I mean,
I know. He
his
blocked
worst
me from it.
position is Waller, and Waller's what, a top 5 tight end.
100%.
So
Right.
like, yeah,
Totally. Yeah. And, as the season goes on, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in the auction this week. But we both have a lot of players that the top teams could come to get too. So, you're making a run. I mean, shit, come get Mark Andrews, come get Aaron Jones, come get Nick Chubb. Come get our guys, come get Eckler.
I might have to
Um,
come get him.
yeah, come get them. Come on over. I've had a lot of good discussions. It's funny because when I traded Dalvin, at that point I was like, okay, maybe I'll go full rebuild. I was just having fun. Whatever. I got
Yeah,
the trophy. Thank God. But I fielded a lot of good conversations for Aaron Jones too. But the more that I went through the offseason, I just think historically, when a team loses an alpha receiver like Devontae Adams and they don't replace him with an alpha, what
yeah,
happens? They
yeah.
end
They
up
gotta
they
rely on
end
the
up
right.
they end up targeting the running backs a ton. And I think AJ Dillon's going to have a great year too. I really do. I think you're going to see the Packers use both of them on the same plays a lot. And
Yeah,
I just
I
I
can see
think there's
that.
a I think there's a really good chance Aaron Jones gets a ton of red zone targets this year. So when you need that spike, you come talk to your boy.
I will.
Okay. All right. This is fun. Thanks, Joey.
Yeah, it was a good time. Good luck to everyone this season.
Yeah.
I'll see you all in week 15 when I start checking again.
Unbelievable. Same vibe every year. And we'll do another podcast after the auction to talk a little bit more about what we thought of about what went down
Yeah.
on Monday. We'll see how the new system goes. And
I'm
at
so excited for Musk's participation in the auction.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah, I'm excited too. And I'd love to see a podcast from them, considering it's supposed to be their responsibility. And I'd love to keep the streak going. Last year the Florida boys had the podcast, and we said all year, that's the podcast that's going to be irrelevant. And this is the podcast you want to listen to because these are the guys that get it done. And then, we were in the championship. So it is what it
They
is.
missed the playoffs. Don't forget that part.
All right, Joey Z. Thank you so
All
much.
right, boys.
Boys, thanks for tuning in. It's gonna be a fun year. I'm excited. Things are moving so quick. I have to say really quick before we go, I'm proud of this league for the decisions we made as far as changing the league in the future.
Needed
It's
it.
Yeah, changes uncomfortable at times, but man, it's gonna be fun. Whether or not it makes your team better or worse, I'm certainly not in a position to be better with PPR and Superflex right now. But God, it's gonna be fun, boys. I'm really looking forward to it. So kudos to all of you for making the decisions, and we'll see how 2022 shakes down. Thanks, Commish. See you, boys.
Peace. See you.